Good day, I'm Twyla Whelan and this is your JIS News for Friday, August 8, 2025. 2 years after criminals firebombed a tenement yard in Gregory Park, St. Catherine, work is set to start on a new housing development for the over 38 residents who were affected. On Tuesday, a contract was signed and ground broken for the Serenity Grove housing development project on the government's new social housing program, NSHP. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness explained that getting to this point took time due to procedures involved in ensuring land tenure was secured for the development. This was achieved under provision of the Registration of Titles, Cadastral Mapping and Tenure Clarification Act, which provides for simplifying and speeding up land registration, particularly in cases where ownership is not clearly defined. This was the case with the property located at 44 Walkers Avenue.
The government could have very well invested $105 million here to build 10 units, and somebody could come and produce a title with their lawyer and go to court and say the government violated my property rights, take over the land that I own, see the title here. And no matter what you feel, a court of law would only have to examine the fact. You can't go behind the title. So there is a reason why we have to make sure we perfect the steps.
The project will be done at a cost of $109 million and is expected to be completed in February of 2026. Meanwhile, the lives of over 80 residents of Hanover Street in central Kingston will be transformed with the construction of an apartment complex named The Havens. The contract was signed and ground broken on Thursday for the $189 million project, which is also being implemented under the new social housing program. The complex will include 3 studio units, a 1-bedroom space, 6 2-bedroom units, and 11 3-bedroom accommodations. It, however, will house only 18 of the 21 households that are currently occupying the location, a decision that Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says is being guided by the contractors.
That means we're going to have to figure out how we support the other families. And that is a challenge when we go to do these kinds of social housing program, because when you do your original social survey, sometimes you start off with 10 families, and by the time you go through the process and you come back, they tell you, well, me and him broke up, so it's 2 different families. When we are doing these social housing programs, we always come up with, hit upon some problems, but we are committed to resolve if you have patience, because it does take some time for us to go through the process.
Prime Minister Holness adds that the complex will also have a commercial space to suit the socio-economic context of the people living there. In other news, government has started negotiations with the Jamaica Public Service Company, JPS, for a new electricity license. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness made the announcement on Wednesday during a ceremony to commission a new liquefied natural gas plant by the Jamaica Broilers Group in St. Catherine.
The truth is, however, that the structure of the license has to be renegotiated for greater efficiency, but also for greater accountability. So that is underway already, and the country can be assured that in the same way we have tackled the big problems, debt, fiscal management, crime, we are going to tackle and bring down the cost of energy to households and firms.
Just last month, the government formally advised JPS that it would not renew the current all-island electricity license under the existing terms when it expires on July 8, 2027. Energy Minister Darrell Vaz has made it clear that the administration does not intend to take over operations of the Light and Power Company. Instead, it will negotiate a new license with more favorable terms. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, will be introducing a dedicated campus bus service for students at the University of Technology and the University of the West Indies, starting this academic year. The announcement was made by JUTC Managing Director Owen Ellington during a recent press conference. The move comes in response to growing demand, as more than 20,000 students across both campuses rely on public transportation. There have also been calls for safer, more reliable service following reports of students being victimized while commuting. In the days, the dedicated bus service will travel to both campuses from areas such as Spanish Town, Portmore and Old Harbour, with further parishes such as Manchester being explored as well.
And in the evening, this is more important, the university students have asked us to provide dedicated transfer services from the campus to the Aqua Tree Transportation Center, the Portmore General Area, to Spanish Town General Area, and to Old Harbour. And we have committed to providing that. So we'll have buses leaving the campus in the evening as late as 9:15 p.m.
Talks are also underway to facilitate weekend travel for university students heading to rural parishes.
And it's our intention, if needs be, to actually take a coach on each of the campus on a Friday evening or a Saturday morning to remove these students to the bus center, transportation center in Aqua Tree, so they can connect to the buses that are doing the rural express routes.
The Electoral Commission of Jamaica, ECJ, has invited several local and international bodies to send representatives to observe the upcoming general election. These include the CARICOM, the Organization of American States, OAS, Commonwealth Secretariat, the Center for Electoral Advisory and Promotion, and Jamaica's domestic observer group, Citizens Action for Free and Fair Elections CAFE. The main purpose of observer missions is to gather information, report on their findings, and make recommendations to the ECJ. The Commission's chairman, Earl Jarrett, says these have contributed significantly to Jamaica meeting international standards for free and fair elections. In the meantime, all Electoral Office of Jamaica EOJ constituency offices will open on Saturdays to facilitate the collection of voter ID cards starting this Saturday, August 9. The offices will open to the public from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Director of Elections Glasspool Brown says the opening hours are being extended in an effort to make it more convenient for registered electors to collect their voter ID cards ahead of the upcoming general election. And finally, Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, Olivia Grange, is reminding Jamaican creatives to protect their intellectual property.
Even at the National Library, we have the Legal Deposit Act, where for every Jamaican who writes, who performs, who records, they should lodge their works at the National Library to protect their works and for preservation. So we're doing everything we can to ensure that we preserve the culture and protect our culture.
She made the appeal during the 63rd Independence Grand Gala at the National Stadium, where thousands turned out for the celebrations. During the ceremony, reggae icons Leroy Sibbles, Capleton and Beres Hammond were honored with the Reggae Icon Awards. The night ended with a spectacular drone display and cultural showcase. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Twyla Whelan. Thanks for watching.